Hey, it's Mike. We've all done dumb stuff, but some stuff is dumber than others. And there was a time in my life when I wasn't very smart. And one of those dumb things was the first time I worked on these coil springs. But it's time to do it again. The springs on this car as it sits, there's something wrong, okay? And I think they're too stiff. So I got a different set of springs. We'll see if it's going to fix our issue, but we're going to see if we can get these out of here without hurting ourselves. So check this out. These springs are so stiff. I know I don't have all the body parts on. There's no glass. But this car's not very heavy to start with. But I got a honking 401 sitting in the engine bay here. Pretty much full kit. And I would expect to see a little bit of compression there, but look, we're still touching the guard with the control arm. And I can bounce on this and we get nothing, no spring. No spring. So these clearly are not the springs for this car. First time I did this job was an absolute nightmare. I mean, we're talking really sketchy. Ratchet strap and spring compressor sketchy with threaded rod, angle iron. It was weird. We're gonna review some of that, but hopefully we come up with something a little better this time. These, once you get the springs compressed in the car, hold on to the caps. There's two ears on the top and the bottom of the spring. Those little cups that capture that spring, and these hold it compressed so you can get it in and out of the car. The thing here is that this leaves a lot of room for the spring to do weird stuff in there. So we're going to try to make these a little bit safer. We got these ears, right, latched onto, but I want to get some sort of cover plate that goes between these two, front and back. Those two arms keep that spring from getting cattywampus in there. Three-quarters in and three-quarters in. Let's do that. let's see. Now that we've got the, we'll call them the spring keepers, I guess. I don't know. Those are all sorted out. We got to turn our attention to these contraptions. And these, first time I made this up, were pretty sketchy. Hopefully going to make them not so sketchy this time. But essentially, once we get the springs out of the car, we've got to compress them to get our little keepers off so that we can recover our caps and put new springs in them. All right, now this sounds simple, but the way this works is if you've got weight, aka the engine mounted up in here, you can jack up on the opposite rear corner, and it should compress the springs far enough to get our hooks in. And it works. It does all right, but boy, these babies are stiff. So let's see how we do. Did we get it the first shot? No way. You're joking. All right, we're in? Yeah, we're in both. Hooks are in. They are. We're going to let the back of the car down. Our spring should stay there. I'm gonna have to undo the trunnion, aren't I? No, we got it. Okay. All right, let's put that package somewhere way far away. All right, wish me luck. Take Java grease, washer, and a nut. Don't mind me sticking my face over the thing. Just, you know, standard procedure. No, that ain't much. Now we don't have to compress very much. Back her off, a little at a time. I don't really know what to make of these, if I'm being honest with you. I've already got the cups on the new spring. This is the old spring, and they are, I mean, they're wound up slightly different. They're the same height, of course. You can see how that one terminates there compared to this one over here. Is much neater. It actually sits straight. As far as judging the weight, I don't know. These still feel awfully stiff. Awfully stiff. And if it wasn't such a pain in the butt to get them in and out, I wouldn't regret putting them back in so much. But man, I suppose I've got them. I gotta try them. I'll get one in the car, see if there's any improvement at all, and hopefully don't end up regretting not just going with the 6-cylinder springs to begin with. So let's get this ready to go back in the car. I did. So top end first, then the bottom. Hopefully our jack behaves. Because it has been a little bit problematic on the letdown. Alright, we're down on the I think we're in. Yeah? I believe we are. All right. Yeah, we're definitely in there. All right, let's get our tool out. get the jacket from the back. There, we're getting there. They're just about there. There's that one. There's that one. Let's. Yeah, we're seated all the way around. All right. Well, let's see what happens when I let the car down. And what do we have here? Well, well, well. There's actually a gap there. So are you telling me that we got the right spring now? Aha! Bruh. Oh man. If you can't tell how excited I am about this, let me tell you, I'm excited because this is absolutely amazing. I was very suspicious, and I knew in my gut those other springs were wrong. All right? Trust your gut. Let's get the other side done. Look at that. Yeah, I don't know if anybody remembers, but there's obviously contact. You can see where it was contact, and now, shoo, we got a full, I don't know, half inch at least. But check this out. Hold on. Check this out. If you remember, I could stand on this thing and not even move it, but look at her go. Loving that. Real happy now that these springs are in. Glad I didn't get stiffed on another set of springs, because that gets a little expensive, you know. I can sell the other ones perhaps, but I have no idea what they're for. Apparently they were advertised for a V8 American. Clearly not. Anyway, we can get the rest of the suspension parts in now. There might be some room for some shocks. Who knows? But yeah, this is good. I'm liking this. All right, got a shock ready to go here. Let's get on this side of the rod. Let's get the hat off here. We got to get the squeeze on this old Pitman arm. Yeah. Is there any shot of light down here? Anyway. This thing calls for 115 foot-pounds. Our buzz, we hit 112. 13 one more time. There we go. All right, time to get the rest of these tie rods tightened up. They have not been snugged out. They've been loose this whole time here. And they all get run down to 35 pounds. Then I gotta get some cotter keys in there. Steering and suspension pretty well locked in at this point. Went and got all our tie rods snugged up, greased up. Did kind of a lazy man's alignment. I didn't run strings or nothing, but these frame rails look pretty straight, so I just measured from the frame rail to a spot on the tire, set our toe, and I think that's probably going to be, you know, adequate to get us down to the alignment shop. So I'm not too concerned about it. You know, we're not going to be doing racetrack stuff, so we'll make it there. Oh, also got some shocks in the rear, so we are set. And the only thing we got left now is get some body panels put back on here. Debating on whether or not I need glass. We'll see. Probably don't need glass to toot around the neighborhood for a quick minute. But yeah, I think we're getting pretty close to having something we can at least roll around and move under its own power, which is going to be a really good thing. So we'll see you next time.